No, I do not.
Man, he's a killer.
Yeah. He's that guy that dressed up as a clown and killed people.
I've heard his name. I know he was a serial killer, but I don't know his story.
John Wayne Gacy was born in Chicago in 1942. He had an abusive alcoholic father. At 9 years old, Gacy was molested by a family friend. He was bullied by his peers and experienced blackouts, which took him out of school. Being abused and neglected by his father connects to Chapter 5 of Child Development.
I think it is the main reason for them being killers.
Yeah. It does. I mean, a lot of people are verbally abused, and it breaks down the morale of that individual. The self-confidence, not knowing how to uplift themselves.
I think we can. Yeah. I think it's a definite, but just sick individuals, maybe something's missing.
I think that's probably one of the main factors of why people become serial killers, because like they have that trigger, and then they have their way of coping with abuse and everything is they just lash out on people and they don't really have any other healthy way to handle that.
He was a very likable guy, and he never really intimidated you. He wasn't the kind of guy that you'd be afraid of.
Gacy's personality and other personalities can be studied further in Chapter 12 of the textbook. Gacy was employed and managed businesses. Gacy got married and had 2 children. Later on, Gacy began to cheat on his wife and make advances on young boys who worked for him. In 1967, Gacy committed his first assault on a 15-year-old boy.
To hurt people, but he did it more in the sense of wanting to experiment to see how somebody would react.
Gacy was caught and sentenced to 10 years in prison, but because he was a model inmate, he only did 18 months. When Gacy got out, he joined the Jolly Jokers and called himself Pogo the Clown.
I got into clown makeup. I regressed into childhood. It was fun being a clown because you could be yourself or just let yourself go and act a fool.
In 1972, Gacy killed his first boy. He killed at least 33 and hid them under his crawl space.
I think a serial killer is someone who massively kills because of like a psychological reason.
A person that has been traumatized as a kid, who really didn't have the structure, the guidance, seen a lot of abusiveness in the household. So I'm thinking that that forms into the mind of a serial killer.
Somebody that is very sick, is within themselves to the point of psychotic.
In 1978, Gacy confessed to all of his actions. He was put on death row and people celebrated while he was going. While on death row, he painted pictures of himself as a clown. These are his victims.
He is the most notorious serial murderer ever. No one can hold a candle to John Gacy.